In this video, we'll be adding the Cavrnus Spatial connector to an Unreal Engine project. We'll learn how to synchronize object properties and how to set up our avatar for multi-user co-presence. For this, we need a Cavrnus domain and the latest version of the Cavrnus Spatial connector for Unreal Engine, which you can download from your web portal. We'll be applying the Cavrnus Spatial connector to our chess game sample project. In this level, we have a table with a chessboard, some movable pieces, and a reset button, which will place all the pieces back to their original positions. There are no special game mechanics or physics in this example. The goal is for the position of the pieces to be synchronized between users so we can play this game with other people. Let's get started by installing the Cavrnus Spatial connector to our project. Go to your project files. Drop the Cavrnus connector folder we downloaded inside your plugins folder. If you don't have a plugins folder yet, you can create one. Now, with your project loaded, open the Plugins Manager from the Edit menu. Search for Cavrnus and enable the plugin by checking this box. This will require you to restart the Unreal Editor. And now your project has the Cavrnus Spatial connector enabled. You'll find a new Cavrnus menu in the menu bar, which you'll use to set up this level. Open the Cavrnus drop-down menu and select Add Cavrnus Spatial connector to current level. Now that it's added, you should find it in the outliner. And from it, we can connect to our server by entering our domain and login information. Here, you'll find multiple login options. You can learn more about these in our documentation, which we'll link to in the description below. Now, we'll connect our level to a Cavrnus space. This is a place that will host all of our synchronized data and store our changes in a journal, so you can come back to your session at any point. We can let the user choose between spaces, or in this case we'll configure it to automatically join one. For this, we need a space ID, which you can access after creating a space from your web portal. Let's log into our portal using our custom domain. We'll create a new space for a chess scene. We'll call it Chess Demo, and we'll make it an empty space, as we'll use it for syncing our Unreal Engine level. Now we can click on the three-dot menu to find our space ID. But first, let's invite someone to our space. We'll select Manage Members, and we'll enter their email address. We'll give them a role, which has a set of permissions that we can configure, and we'll click Done. Now we can go back to our three-dot menu and copy our space ID by clicking on it. And we can paste it inside our field. Let's run our game. As we can see, we're all connected to our space, and we can connect with others using voice and video. The next step is syncing our chess pieces. In order to sync any type of property to our space, each actor needs a component called the Cavrnus Properties container, so we'll add it to this chess piece. We'll be syncing the transform properties of the piece. Let's add a new component. We'll type sync, and as you can see, there are many properties we could synchronize. We can add as many of these sync components as we need. Just make sure to have only one Cavrnus Properties container with a unique container name that will be used as this actor's identifier. In our case, we only need the sync transform component, which was already added to our project. If we want to add components to all instances of a blueprint, we can add them to their parent class in the blueprint editor. And after doing so, we can go through each instance to give them a unique container name. Our name will be based on the path of each object, as it appears in the outliner. Note that container names are case sensitive. The container names of our pieces now match with the Unity version of this project, so we could join from both versions and play our game across engines. This is one of the many unique features of the Cavrnus Spatial connector. Let's go back to our project. Here, we only set up 5 of our pieces, and you'll see how those stay in their position even after reloading the level, as they're being synchronized to our space. We'll finish setting up the rest of the pieces. The last thing we'll do is set up our user's avatar. Go to the World Settings tab, and inside Game Mode, expand the Selected Game Mode section. This project uses a custom default pawn class, We'll click Browse to Asset in Content Browser and open our blueprint. In the Components tab, notice there's a Cavrnus Properties container and a Sync Transform Character component. These are necessary for our user's avatar to display properly, and you can add them from here. Now we're all set up and ready to connect with other users. In only a few minutes, we were able to transform this single-player level into a real-time, persistent collaborative experience with voice and video, and without any coding. So, now you can transform your own project with the Cavrnus Spatial connector.